Hopefully in your Jesus Dojo community, you've been doing the exercise, or you have already done the exercise on the Mark 2 passage, the call of Jesus to his first disciples to follow him. Now, this is important because this video is going to pick up. We're not going to go over the story. I'm not going to teach out of the story necessarily in the video, but we're going to pick up that, and that's the context for what we are going to look at, and that is, what does it mean to extend a call to be a disciple and to help make disciples? What did it mean for Jesus, and what does it mean for us in our time and culture? And we're going to look at that. And what we're going to look at is the nature of that call, that it was extremely high invitation and high challenge. When Jesus said, "Follow me, I will make you become fishers of men," what Jesus was doing was inviting them into all of his life, a very high relational invitation, but at the exact same time, it was a big challenge. He was not allowing them to stay where they were in their faith journey. He was calling them to a new reality, to something bigger and greater than they even knew that they could do themselves. And so we're going to take a look at that. The call to follow me. So it seems like a simple thing, but what that actually was is Jesus was known as a rabbi from his contemporaries before he had fully revealed himself to be the Son of God, to be God incarnate. Everyone in his culture that he was around, they knew him as a rabbi, as a master teacher. And what that meant in their culture, when Jesus said, "Follow me," is there was actually a ancient saying to follow in the dust of the rabbi. Because they would walk about life, they would go walking around their culture, and the disciples would follow them, observing every aspect of the master teacher's life. They would see how he incorporated his faith, his following of God, into every aspect of life. And that includes everything from cleaning his house, to interacting with people in the marketplace, to interacting with his family around a table, to hanging out at parties, around the campfire at the end of a long day, a long journey as they were going from place to place. All these aspects would have been open to the disciples. In other words, Jesus was inviting them fully into his life. 100% of his life was open to them, and they had access to every bit of it. That was an extremely high invitation. But on the other polar extreme, a high challenge, is that Jesus said, "I will make you become fishers of men." He said, "You are fishermen now, I will make you become fishers of men." He was calling them into a new reality, something that they had never done before. He was not allowing them to just stay in the status quo of their life. He was calling them to something deeper, something that they did not even see themselves that they could ever become. Jesus was calling and challenging them into that deeper new reality through his relationship with him. So, what does that mean for us? Okay, so in this zone, this is where we want to operate as followers of Jesus ourselves, and as we go about making disciples or helping make disciples, helping people trust and follow Jesus. We want to live in this zone. This is where transformation happens. This is the ultimate goal. Remember, Jesus said, "Follow me," the high invitation, "and I will make you become," the challenge, "fishers of men." So we want to live in this transformational zone. So when we have an extremely high challenge and high invitation, that's where we can operate. That's where the greatest change comes. Now, if we have that high challenge, but not the invitation, this is where we experience burnout. And I don't know where you're at. Again, when we get through all these quadrants, we're going to look and have you evaluate in discussion in your groups where you may be in these quadrants. But if you are just experiencing high challenge, you're always being extended beyond yourself, but you don't have that high invitation, you're not experiencing the love of God through others, you're not having other people pour into your life. If you're not having that high invitation and you're only being challenged, you will burn out. If you're only doing ministry activities, ministry tasks and goals, if you're only doing the job of ministry, but you're not being invited into the lives of others, then you will eventually experience burnout. But up here is where I feel like maybe most of us that have been maybe a part of a church or a Christian community for a long time, this is maybe where we end up defaulting into, because we know we're supposed to love others. We know we're supposed to live in community with others. We know we're supposed to serve other people. And so our job is that we kind of default into the cozy mode. Yes, we just want to love one another. We want to be one big happy family. We want to be comfortable. But Jesus never allowed them. He said, follow me. But that was into a life of transformation. I will make you become. He was not ever allowing them to just get cozy and to feel good about where they were at in their faith journey. There was always a challenge to deepen and grow. And then finally, what unfortunately I believe many of our Christians in our culture is they're just apathetic. They don't have a Christian community that they're a part of. They don't attend church regularly. They're certainly not part of a small group or a Sunday school, or they're being challenged to think about their faith and grow in it. And they're not even being challenged at all. They're not even having anybody having any accountability if they are following after Jesus. So they're just having an apathetic faith. Maybe they inherited it from their parents. They may call themselves a Christian, but in their following of Jesus, they're completely apathetic. They have no ownership. They certainly aren't experiencing any life transformation due to their faith. And so what we want to do is we just want to recognize that this is the call of Jesus. He called us to a life transformed by Himself through an invitation into all of His life, but then a challenge to be about to become something that we're not, to become honestly more like Jesus. And so what I want you to do for what we're going to do in community is simply identify. Look at this. Maybe draw it on a card or a piece of paper at your table. This kind of these quadrants, and just mark where you are. Are you maybe right here? Are you experiencing some transformation? Are you being challenged just a little in your faith? And are you maybe a part of a Jesus Dojo where you're spending at least an hour and a half of your week in there? And then maybe you're down here. Maybe you are completely burnt out. You are being challenged and you're feeling overwhelmed constantly by your faith journey. And you simply aren't having other people pour into your life. Mark you're here. Or, wherever you are. Are you cozy? Are you feeling really good? Wherever you may be, just kind of and be honest, before we can't go into a new reality. We can't go from here to here, here to here, until we establish where we are honestly. So then, after you've kind of self-identified, just have an open discussion of what it really means to have that high invitation, high challenge in our culture. Because we aren't living 2,000 years ago in the ancient Near East. We aren't setting up discipling and pupil relationship. It looks different for us. I think of, all the time, what does it really look like to be invited into all of our life where people not only see me on Sunday mornings or see me on the stage or see me in my group setting, but they see me, interacting with my children. They see me at the checkout line at the grocery store or driving in traffic or whatever it may be. Just have a conversation about what it means after you've self-identified where you are, what it means and what it may look like moving to application for our culture. What does it look like to have a full invitation into every bit of our lives and to actually challenge one another to see our faith in action? Have those discussions, and I hope it's fruitful for you guys as you learn the way of Jesus.